get into the Maker's Place portion of this, I think a good way to get started, since we have three artists that'll be featured, a couple of the artists are going to be talking, or at least talking through one of the members of the WIP crew, is to have Aisha, who is heading up the community and all the good stuff going on over at Maker's Place, to kind of like explain what's going on, what's going to be a part of the drop, and what folks should be looking out for in a couple minutes when it goes live. So Aisha, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Again, thanks WIP crew so much for having really to get to be part of these, and it's been really cool to kind of see how over the audience. Thank you again for having me, and congrats Matthew, really awesome. Welcome
So
to
Aisha, whenever you're ready,
fatherhood.
take it
So
away.
before I get started, again, drops that are going to be thanks WIP crew minutes. I just want to give a quick little spiel, some updates I've been working on at Maker's Place. So for those of you guys that don't, my name's Aisha. Like, is that Matthew or Rizzle? Whoever introduced me said I'm the place, and so Maker's Place, we are one of the premier art markets, digital art markets, buying and selling rare digital art that's authenticated through chain. So I'm assuming that most people in the audience have a background on what rare digital
Aisha,
art is.
1 second.
So
I'm
I'll just
sorry. Your mic
yeah.
is coming in a little bit choppy. So maybe if you
Oh,
want to speak up a little bit, or if you have
okay.
the mic in your chin, just maybe change the location.
Let's see. Is this better?
It sounds not choppy now. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Sorry about that. But yeah, so I'll just jump in real quick about some updates from Maker's Place. Basically, right now, a big focus of ours is, as you guys in the community know, gas is becoming a big constant issue. So we're really focusing a lot of time and effort on introducing that. Right now, behind the scenes, we're working on a deferred payment plan or payment method that would allow artists to actually cover their gas fees after an artwork is purchased. We're also trying to optimize our contracts to be able to bundle transactions in hopes that that will help reduce gas costs as well. On the community side of things, we are definitely trying to start promoting more events and like fun things like trivia nights and group exhibitions. So we are going to have a group exhibition coming up in the next month. Keep an eye out for details on Twitter or Discord. And yeah, we're just basically going to be trying to do a lot more stuff, giveaways, opportunities to win digital art, etc., etc. But basically, without further ado, I want to dive into the drops for today. It's really a super exciting drop day for us because we have three awesome, incredible artists. They all have really unique but equally impactful styles. So it's really an honor to get to introduce some of their new work today. So I will be speaking on behalf of Pak and just explaining a little bit about the work that Pak will be releasing today. But also on the line is Ao Craigo and Sarah. And sorry if I mispronounced that. himself on his upcoming drop, and he has one of Pac's earliest collections. This collection, which is Terminus, was actually teased to the world 5 purchasers who follow exploring the idea of complex theories and which is really kind of like the core principle behind a lot of Pac's work. Um, so in these artworks particularly, there's a lot of interplay and juxtaposition between these like supposedly opposite forces or objects. So one example of that, and for anyone who has seen the work already, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, you can actually preview the artwork on makersplace.com/drop. I can drop that link in the chat in a second. But basically, there's like this interplay of opposite. There's these like super clearly defined geometric shapes that are backdropped against like a super soft, abstracted natural forms, right? There's like this play between light and shadow and negative, positive space. There's like a monochromatic color palette, which is like really kind of emphasize this idea of simplicity and balance to as the way of like portraying these more complex theories. So, I mean, really, all in all, I'd say that these artworks are very quintessentially Pac in the style and presentation. So, if any of you guys, missed on last week's Pac drop, or just want to add a, highly coveted Pac original to your collection, stay tuned because they will be up for grabs at 1 p.m. And so, also just a quick note: I know that gas fees are crazy right now, so just a reminder that you can also make purchases with credit cards to avoid those fees on Maker's Place. And I don't know if I mentioned already, but 1 p.m. will be the time that all 3 artists, and I'll let the other artists on the line kind of elaborate more what they're doing. But yeah, that's my spiel. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Thank you, Aisha. And I think we'll probably circle back to you when it's time to announce the official drop at
Yes.
1 p.m. Pacific. But
Awesome.
next up, yeah. But next up, we'll go right into A.O. Crego, who's also going to be featured in the drop, and I think he's in the stream. So, A.L., whenever you're ready, take it over and let folks know about the work that you're going to drop in a few minutes.
Hello, can you hear me properly?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. And nice. Thank you for Aisha for introducing myself and my work. It's a honor, and I don't know what to say, but because I used to say that my work speaks better than me about what I'm trying to say. But this drop is about taking some perspective about human evolution and how we use nature and technology. And I like to mix these two concepts about technology and nature, because for me are the same. Technology is part of nature. So I don't know what to say now, like this. Are you hear me?
Yeah, we can still
Sorry,
hear you.
I don't hear nothing.
No, we can still hear you.
Sorry, I wasn't hear anything. Sorry. And now I don't know more to say, because I used to work with GIFs mostly, because I think it's a real good format that is always running. And I think the concept of loop in art is something pretty new. Despite the GIF has more than 30 years, still nowadays is something quite unknown for the people. Everybody knows what a GIF is, but no, not everybody knows how to make art and understand the loop and the limits of colors and sizes, and how to manage this to achieve an idea. And most of my works, I have to say that born from small cubes or small writes I do. So I try to convert these words into images in a loop, because I used to call my gifts as visual mantras. Like a repetition leads you to some more meditatory art way looking art more than a passive way when they are you have to imagine all the movement. And nowadays the technology of today allowed us to have a motion art in our life. It's a change of paradigm about art. I think the change was too quick. I don't know if I have more time, if I can explain a little metaphor, but is it okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's just a visual. Because it has to do about the pieces of today in the draw. Because if you see the human evolution in perspective, in a really long perspective, it's like for example, the fire. Take too long to all humans understand the fire, and it was about I don't know how many generations, but a lot of them to understand and develop it. Then, for example, with medicine, it was the same, many generations. Then I don't know, with writing was the same, and the more close we are to these years, the jumps are smaller. So technology was changed everything in 10, 15 years. So people sometimes, or I include myself, but we don't understand the high jump we are having in this. And I used to say that the art is the reflect of the present. So I focus my work in this kind of work because I think it's a change of paradigm. Despite I think a lot of people think that GIF is die or is an old fine. I feel really comfortable with using it, expressing myself in loops. And one more thing, just by curiosity, I defend that our memories are gifts, nor pictures, nor films, because films are so long and pictures are still frames. But when you remember something about a concert or a travel or something like this, you remember little excerpts of these motion memories. But so I think that GIF is really human format or kind of art. I don't know how to explain that. I need to write.
Very cool. And I'm really excited to see the pieces that you are dropping in a couple minutes. And any mention on like addition in sizes or anything like that? I see that it's going to be a couple 101s and a couple 505s, right?
Product. I used to say that I prefer people watch my work and make the dialogue inside them instead of me speaking. That's the reason I don't use social networks and I don't show my body or face on the internet. Because when you are reading a book, for example, you don't have the author next to you to ask him questions, and you have to fight with the book or with the piece or the painting to find your meaning that can help you. And I think I really trust on the personification of art, I think.
That's cool. And then show any questions for AL, Pergo, by chance?
Yeah. Hey, man.
But
What about crypto art initially attracted you to it, and how is it benefiting you now?
I think it's been because it's really recent for me. It's a big jump because since I began to do this kind of gigs, the first one I did and they went viral was about street art ones. Maybe you know about what I'm talking about. It's street art gigs, and I do a lot of them, and then next to it my own work. But I feel since the beginning until a year that my work was useless because I couldn't. How can I say? I couldn't make people understand that GIF format is a kind of art, not just a format. Of course, you can say that a picture of a I don't know, of a poor magazine is a picture, but a picture of a professional photographer is a picture too. What changed? Just the content of it. So when I discovered this, it was about Maker's Place. They contacted me, and I was aware of crypto art, but most of my time I spend my time creating, not beginning this. I try to be aware of this. I read a lot of philosophy and psychology and technology, but when I spend more time is in creating. And finally, I begin with Maker's Place. I speak with them. They explain me all so good. So since I don't know 3 months by now, is changing everything because now I can see my work is evaluated and shared and has more sense. It finally finds its own ecosystem, if you understand my expression. because ecosystem of WIP is strictly digital, and nowadays we all have digital devices in our hands, or I think is the key in this case about GIFs and GIF art, I think.
That's
Cool.
great. And the last one is, if you had one single piece of advice to give to an upcoming artist, what would it be?
I think it's the same as on any other areas, because I used to feel that when something appears now in the world, everybody is going to it and forget the real root of the meaning of your work. People used to create work about the hyper present and forget about the past and the future. And I think art is more about speaking to the time, not to the present itself. It's that when a good piece of art, I think it's one will transcend if it speaks not only for this month or for the next 3 months. I think, and this is where you have to dig, I don't know, in archetypes and psychology. And at the end, in the very last, the human brain is who decides what is art, not the universities or these kind of people that say that what is art and what is not. And with crypto art now is really democratic. It's a way of democratize art, and about who say what is art and what is not art. I think I say personal opinion, but I really trust in this.
Damn, I love that. that was perfect. Awesome. So we're all looking forward to the drop in, I think Easy and Crypto said it's 12 minutes now. So hold on to your butts for that. But we have one more update coming about Heidi Teixeira. And I think that he has hired Rizzle as his surrogate speaker for today. So Rizzle, if you're ready, man, tell us all about what Heidi has planned for the drop.
I don't like the term surrogate speaker. Thank you very much. No. Heidi Teixeira, aka Deniz BR. He's one of these OG Scent Crew people, and he's also got a cool little hedgehog game that I've been tinkering around with for a while. So him and I have been buddies for a while. So he just honestly asked me if I would do this on his behalf, and so I'm thrilled. And there's no transaction taking place. He's just a good dude, and I'm happy to do this on his behalf. And he's going to be able to answer any questions that anyone has in the chat box while this is going on. When the drops happen, we're going to try and do something that we haven't done before. Dragonate's going to try and screen share them into the Discord here so we can all check them out together. And one of the reasons that idea was hatched is because Heidi's pieces are very immersive. They're not. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into when I signed myself up for this, because I thought I was just going to look at a piece of art and talk about it. But both of these pieces of art that he is dropping are essentially like 2.5-minute, very immersive VR experiences, I would say. So before I get into that, I just want to give you like a little bit of background on Heidi. Heidi was born into a family of photographers and has been one himself since adolescence, so about 20 years now. You could probably do some math and figure out how old he is. He's been in the world of crypto art for about a little over a year now, and was introduced to it by a friend who offered to buy his crypto art before he even knew crypto art was a thing. So this is not Heidi's first piece on Maker's Place. He has several other pieces on Maker's Place that are sort of like the remix style and different animated pieces that he creates frame by frame. He also has some pieces that have been completed from start to finish in Blender 3D. And it sounds like that's what he's moving towards. He was saying his personal favorites are those that he does in VR, because he can really express himself within the virtual reality environment, which is how we got to these pieces that he's dropping today. And so, like I said, I looked at these. This is sort of an aside. I looked at these first thing in the morning, and he's ready to share them with me. And I just stumbled upon this massive Uniswap drop and thought I was just about to look at 2 pieces of static crypto art, and didn't realize when I put my headphones on and queued these things up that I was going to be like transported into Heidi's world. And it was a very I wouldn't say overwhelming, but immersive is definitely like the appropriate word. And these are 2 different pieces that are very much like that. So let's see. Heidi is inspired by politics, to fight against an oppressive system and is inspired by books, ancient history, mythology, and music. I mean, after that, I was like, hell yeah, I'll do this, man. What he likes about this drop is that, yes, that the pieces, besides being very immersive in VR, have elements related to cinema. So this is like what I was saying, like action, suspense, drama. If you analyze it, you will feel it. Uh, he also thinks some of the work has to do with the camera and the synchronism, and he's hand selected the music for each piece, and they are like quite the experiences. And he was saying, which there's probably some truth to this, that some of the time spent needing to appreciate these works of art are also their shortcomings, because you might not get it unless you like actually immerse yourself in it. But if you do, it's hard to like not be totally blown away, which is why we wanted to have some sort of like video stream, or attempt to set up some sort of video stream where everyone could experience these pieces together. So I think I have these straight. I believe the Dream Catcher is the 1 out of 1 that he'll be dropping. And these are two immersive pieces, but they're very different. You'll know exactly which is which when we pull them up. The Dream Catcher is a tribute to the American writer Stephen King. The book Dream Catcher is a novel featuring elements of horror, suspense, and alien invasion. In this artwork, we have a representation of the villain in Stephen King's book, Mr. Gray. Mr. Gray's origins are shrouded with mystery. One of few confirmed facts about him is that he is the last of his kind after his home planet and the rest of the species were destroyed by humans. And the music used in the piece of art is by Ben Sound, called Evolution, and took him about 2 weeks from start to finish to create this piece. And it's definitely worth sticking through from beginning to end, even if like a 101 is out of your price range, which it typically is from me. You certainly want to experience this. Actually, as I'm saying this, I'm like, this is a side show. I have a question. Are there other specific authors or books by Stephen King that like inspire him or have inspired him? So the next piece is called Live Forever. This, I believe, is going to be the 5 out of 5. And this piece, I guess, is sort of like a different style of his. Again, a completely immersive experience. It was very much inspired by the band Oasis and these specific lyrics from the song "Live Forever." And I'm not gonna like butcher this by reading these lyrics. I'll post them in the chat here, but I'm no poet or a songwriter, and it's gonna sound like not right coming from me. The music in this piece is by Snowflake, called "Come Inside." And yeah, this is going to be a 1 out of 5. I believe it's going to be priced for 0.6 ETH an edition. Aisha or Heidi can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm also going to post the link to, Heidi's website, so you can check out his other stuff he's got going on while we are awaiting this imminent drop in about 5 minutes. Oops.
Sorry, I'm not sure. Just
Someone
want to
saying
make
audio
sure.
cut out. You guys.
0.4 ETH per edition.
Ooh, much more affordable.
Yeah.
I think Rizzle's audio may have plunked out on him.
Sorry, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, where
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. 0.6. It's 0.6. I'm sorry.
Oh, damn, Aisha.
Sorry. That was cruel.
I was actually over here talking to myself, and I did mention that. Where did I leave off? You guys obviously heard me say I'm not a poet or something like that, so that was about the end of it.
0.6 ETH for the editions was the last I heard.
Yeah, exactly. Music is by Snowflake, Come Inside, and yeah, hopefully we can get the stream going so we can all experience these things, these pieces of art together. I'd love to look at them from start to finish, because just haven't had a chance to do it yet. So we're about 5 minutes out, I guess. So if anyone has any questions for us or the artists, drop them in the chat box or bother show with it. The only other thing I have on my agenda before we close the show and move on to the drops is make sure to check out Easy's listening party, 8 p.m. on Monday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Monday evenings, where he's dropping the Token Smart podcast and Sandy Meows's listening party on Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where she is dropping the latest episodes of the Matthew and Rizzle Show. So again, big shout out to the WIP crew for making all this happen. And yeah, drop any questions you guys might have, or someone feel free to grab the mic from me, and we will await this drop.
Perfect. Aisha, we are basically in your hands now. And then I guess Dragon Knight's going to coordinate the live stream for some of the visuals, but
Yeah, so
guide us to the promised land.
I am waiting just like you guys. So Danny, our the links to the artwork as soon as they mint. So I'm just anxiously awaiting. I'd say right now, if you guys want to wait in real time, you can head over to the Maker's Place /drops page, where you'll be able to see them go live. Oh, looks like, guys, give me a second. I'm dropping the links in right now. One sec. Beck.
Oh, this is exciting. Yeah, John Stewart. Good. That's perfect, Sandy. That's my face right now.
It looks like Dragonade's got this stream going, so you should be able to watch the drop live right here.
Do we see that little countdown? Almost 1 minute. These gifs are killing me in the chat.
All right, so I've got all the links for PAX drop specifically lined up right now. I'm just gonna hit enter at 1 p.m. And then give me like a minute, and I'll have the rest of the links up in the group chat.
And then I think Dragonade had a question for us in terms of Heidi's videos. Do we want to save those for last, or what do we want to do there?
I don't think there's like a specific order in mind, but they're definitely videos. So if the other pieces, which I have not had a chance to look at, are more like static images, then it may make more sense to review them first, and then we can all check the videos.
Yeah, it might even make sense to go POX artwork, which is static, to and I'm dropping it right now in the channel. But POX art is completely static, and then Ale Kragos is has more movement and is like GIF art, right? And then to go to Heidi's work from there, which is like this like complete immersive storytelling stuff.
Perfect.
Yeah. So the pack drop links are in the chat now. I'm getting the answer.
So the reserves for each of Pox pieces is 9 ETH. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Cool.
Looks like we're still waiting for the other two drop pieces to go live, so I'll keep you guys posted.
Is there any significance to the number 9 for the reserve, or is that the average selling price, or what's behind that? Any idea?
So it's basically we usually for reserve prices we work with the artist to figure out something that obviously they'd be satisfied with, right? But also that's just based on their current or like their past sales data and the work at hand, kind of combination of those two things.
Yeah. And Dab Dragon said he's Pac.
Nice. Yeah, sorry for the delay, guys. We're waiting for the other piece of equipment right now. Just some insight also on that 9 ETH reserve number is that it's based on also the fact that Puck's art, most of the sales so far that have happened on super rare, the average has been like 13 ETH for those sales. But the average of the most recent 20 sales, I guess, has been around 23 ETH. So technically, I guess 9 is kind of low if you're looking at the past sales history.
Totally.
Oh, I will take a WIP coin. Thank you.
9 WIP coin? There we go.
If it was up to me, maybe.
So in terms of the minting process, like, is it still the case for all the drops that Maker's Place takes care of all the minting? Or like what's that process look like for dropped or artists featured in the drops versus regular folks who are minting and creating work on Maker's
Yeah,
Place?
so I mean, we try to keep it fair. So even though these are drop artists, we are with our new gas management system, we are asking for artists to cover their gas fees associated. So that's for all our drop artists and just artists who are just minting in general. But so I think this is where this whole deferred payment thing is going to really make a big difference for a lot of people, because so what that's going to look like is that the art will be minted, and instead of paying that minting fee up front, the minting fee will be taken out of the artist's sale. So we're really encouraging now with, this, it's a new implication gas situation. And so we are encouraging artists to kind of be mindful of when they're making their price to incorporate that minting fee into their pricing, just as is kind of like common way of handling it, even in the physical art world, like publishing worlds and stuff like that. It's just become a reality for us because of the consistently high gas.
This is definitely, I don't think I've seen any other projects implement this. I know everyone's going straight to layer 2 solutions or things like that, which obviously makes sense. But this
Right.
seems like a pretty reasonable, like half step getting into a more deeply ingrained solution.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think that it's definitely the way that we have the gas set up right now, I think was very like reactionary, just because I don't think anyone expected this to just be a constant struggle for people. At least like my time at Maker's Place, this was like all really new, this whole gas situation. Um, so I think that, yeah, we're it's really a big focus for us, and like you said, it's like coming to these kind of halfway solutions and more on just like developing them and exploring other options until we get to a full solution. So yeah, that's Ulitz who's asking right now our new gas system, and I can actually let me put in the blog post that talks about this for more details. Oh, and actually I have the AL Craigo drop for you guys now
Hurry, please,
Okay,
send
let
them.
me get those ones first. I'll send the gas info blog article in a second. That's also something, while I'm getting these links together, that's something that I didn't mention in the Makerspace update, but we are trying to work a lot on coming up with more kind of educational content as we see like more and more new artists and new collectors who may not necessarily have like as strong of a crypto background entering the space. So this article that I'm going to share with you guys, it kind of explains like what gas is, how we're dealing with it, all that type. And definitely want to keep making educational content like that. So if you guys ever have ideas of some type of concept that you think people are having a hard time understanding or would be really useful for newcomers to have like additional resources on, always feel free to just DM me with your ideas, and I'm more than happy to add that to our content calendar and see what we can do about addressing it. Okay, let me focus on getting these links. One sec.
Please, AL Craigo, ASAP. We need that.
Sorry, you asked me something?
Oh, no, I'm just begging Aisha to share the links to your work so we can purchase it.
Sorry. I was paying attention. I keep quiet.
No, don't keep quiet at all. Yeah, I need
Ah,
this crypto art fix. Been cooped up in the hospital.
Alrighty, guys. So AL Craigo drop links are in, and I got the Heidi one. Prepping them right now for you. One sec.
thank you, Aisha, for sharing it.
Thank you for creating.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Ooh, these concrete branches is great.
Okay, and I just put in the 2 immersive artworks from Heidi Texera, so go and check them out.
Ready, Dragonate.